Chapter 13. Dao Heart Illumination. The combustion of his meridians did not kill him immediately. Before he died, he quickly changed the resurrection point to under his bed. Then, his eyes rolled back and he died. After he died, the system notification appeared. You died from Qi deviation. Comprehension +1. You have absorbed power from death and obtained 1 freedom attribute points. You will be resurrected in 3 seconds. Ding, congratulations on dying from cultivating a new cultivation technique. You meet the conditions for being motivated. If you cultivate the cultivation technique to perfection within the specified time, you will be rewarded with 1 chance to draw the lottery. San Qi crawled out from under the bed. He was not discouraged by the Qi deviation. Instead, he could not help but chuckle. Wow, damn, I actually encountered a safe way to die. Moreover, the fatality factor this time is not an external person, but a cultivation technique which I used to cultivate. He felt like he had discovered a new world, as the method was much safer than running out to court. Death. Not only can he obtain comprehension and attribute points, he could also obtain a lucky draw opportunity through cultivating cultivation techniques. This made him very interested. Compared to killing those demons and ghosts, it was obviously much more comfortable to cultivate cultivation techniques to perfection. For this method, am I also limited to dying 10 times? He asked the system in his heart and received a reply that he could only die 10 times for each of the same cultivation technique. In other words, if he changed his cultivation technique and died from Qi deviation, he could continue farming rewards. Good God. San Qi immediately climbed onto his bed and started cultivating again. The path of martial arts practitioners consists of refining essence into Qi. San Qi condensed the essence in his body into the so-called genuine Qi according to the root of the cultivation technique. This genuine Qi was mainly used to temper the body, especially the parts that needed to be cultivated. For example, this iron sand palm was used to temper the palm with true Qi, coupled with external cultivation by rubbing against the hot sand and soil. Cultivators can cultivate a pair of fierce and domineering iron sand palms. San Qi tried to condense the essence Qi into his danshan again, but this danshan was not the lower danshan, it was the middle danshan. This was originally a place to hide Qi, that connected Qi and blood in the entire body. It was a place that certain domineering martial arts techniques used to condense Qi. This time, perhaps because his comprehension had increased. Considering that his original 1 point for comprehension, the increase was huge. He felt as if he had been enlightened. He had grasped what he did not understand previously and allowed all the essence energy in his body to smoothly enter his middle danshan. I succeeded on the 2nd try. Moreover, even though I failed, my comprehension still increased. I think only I can cultivate like this, San Qi muttered in his heart. He immediately continued to circulate his Qi for the next half a cycle of Qi circulation, and as soon as the Qi he had condensed came out of his body, it went everywhere. Although San Qi's physique was strong, the essence energy contained in his body was very powerful. This random power easily destroyed his meridians again. It's still a little difficult. San Qi vomited blood and died. You died from Qi deviation. Comprehension +1. You have absorbed power from death and obtained 1 freedom attribute points. San Qi crawled out from under the bed gloomily and sighed. Without a teacher's guidance, the risk of cultivating recklessly is really high. Too lazy to climb up and down, he simply sat by the bed and continued to search for a method. He was a person who had never come into contact with martial arts before, and did not even know the path of meridians in his body, but had begun to exchange death for EXP. This time, he finally condensed the essence Qi into the so-called genuine Qi in his danshan. Then, he mobilized it and brought it to his palm with much difficulty through the meridians in his hand. Instantly, his palm began to heat up and quickly turned red, as if it had been cooked. How magical! San Qi clicked his tongue in wonder. This was the first time he had experienced the wonders of martial arts. Before he could take a closer look, he lost control of his Qi due to being distracted. A surge of genuine Qi rushed up his chest, causing San Qi's chest to swell and his face flushed red. He spurted out blood and died immediately. This was the 3rd time he failed to control the condensed genuine Qi and die. San Qi was a little frustrated. After reviving, he focused all his attention on his Qi. The essence Qi condensed into genuine Qi in his danshan. then with much difficulties, circulated for one so-called qi cycle. This cycle was actually just one round in his body. The purpose of this cycle was to transfer essence qi from his entire body into his middle danshan and condense it into genuine qi. Then, it would enter his palm through his meridians and return to his danshan. After completing the entire process, his palm would be tempered while his genuine qi would be pure. San Qi thought that he had found the trick and quickly condensed his genuine qi, but soon, a bang was heard. A bloody hole had exploded in his chest. This time, he had condensed too much genuine qi and did not control it well. His danshan hence exploded and he died on the spot. After resurrecting, San Qi was a little depressed. He did not expect that his powerful physique could become a shackle that would increase the risk of cultivation. The essence qi in his body was too exuberant, whereas his mental strength was relatively weak. Hence his control was insufficient, and the genuine qi he condensed was too powerful to be controlled and too cumbersome to move around his body. As such, his genuine qi could crash and burn at any time. No matter how tough his meridians and danshan were, they could not withstand the powerful damage from the inside. However, although he had exploded his danshan once, he was not in a hurry to use his freedom attribute points to increase his spirit stats. One reason was because he wanted to die a few more times. The other reason was to expose as many problems as possible with regards to his cultivation, so he will be able to solve them in the future. After dying of qi deviation and reviving for the fourth time, he deliberately controlled the speed at which his essence qi condensed. He did not blow up his danshan this time, but his cultivation speed was too slow. He had no choice but seek a balance, only to die from another heart rupture. After dying 8 times in a row, San Qi understood the importance of having a teacher. Without any guidance and insufficient EXP, it was a death wish to rely on oneself to cultivate recklessly. Why is this genuine qi so difficult to control? I've tried so many times, but it's still like a wild horse that has escaped its reins. I can't control it accurately. San Qi had a headache. Moreover, the more cycles I circulate, the easier it is for me to suffer from qi deviation. My physique is too strong. He did not know whether it was because he had cultivated too quickly, or because he had only cultivated the iron sand palm by his internal strength. For one, the way he cultivated qi was too fast. A normal martial artist, especially a beginner, would only need to cultivate for 1 or 2 cycles a night. They had to interact with the qi in their bodies for a long time, and constantly polish and condense it. Only then would it be safe. The second reason was that he did not cultivate it in conjunction with his external strength. Moreover, this iron sand palm was originally a martial art that required extreme yang and rigidity. The genuine qi condensed was fierce and domineering and needed to be transformed into rigidity through rubbing with iron sand externally, but this was not the way he cultivated it. Without anyone to guide San Qi, it did not matter how powerful his comprehension was, as he had no martial arts foundation. As such, he would not be able to find the reason for why genuine qi was so difficult to control in a short period of time. Of course, the good thing was that San Qi did not have to be afraid of death. He could do whatever he wanted. After the 9th qi deviation, San Qi could already circulate 5 cycles consecutively. The true qi condensed in his middle danshan was already quite dense. The cultivation EXP of the cultivation technique had also increased greatly from the beginning. Perhaps I don't have enough spiritual strength. I'll spend freedom attribute points to increase my spiritual strength. San Qi opened the system interface. Name: San Qi. Race: Human. Spirit: 8.0. Physique: 28.9. Comprehension: 10.4. Talent: Fire Spirit Root. Innate Strength. Ability: Iron Sand Palm Beginner. Energy: Yang Energy 37. Freedom attribute points: 26. Lottery chance: 0. Am I considered a beginner in the iron sand palm? That can't be, right? How can I still suffer from qi deviation after entering the beginner level? San Qi was a little surprised to see that the iron sand palm was added under ability in the system interface. As for unfettered hand, since it was not cultivated yet, it was not considered an ability. He was not surprised about this. However, how could his current iron sand palm be considered at beginner level? Perhaps I cultivated it correctly, but neglected certain factors and hence suffered qi deviation. Sanchi became aware of a possible reason, then immediately realized that his physique had -1 by 0.2. Practicing martial arts can increase your physique. After guessing the reason, Sanchi did not hesitate to spend 20 free stats to increase his spirit stats from 8 to 28. In the next second, his head buzzed and the entire world became clear again. He became conscious of many things that he had not noticed before. However, he did not care much and immediately started to cultivate the Iron Senpon internal strength cultivation technique again. This time, it felt completely different. His genuine chi circulated much more obediently each cycle. 1 cycle, 3 cycles, on the 6th cycle, Sanchi felt that everything was going smoothly. Read latest chapters at wuxia-world.site only. However, after 10 cycles, his genuine chi began to disobey his control again. 20 cycles later, boom, Sanchi exploded into pieces. The force of explosion was not small. It caused the bed to explode into pieces and caused spider webs cracks on the floor. Ding, congratulations on undergoing 10 chi deviation. Your Tao heart has been awakened. Comprehension has increased by 10 points.